Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ingrid and this is Ingrid Reads a Lot. In today's video, I want to talk to you guys about anticipated releases that are coming out in July, August, and September. There are so many good books coming out in August, it's insane. I had to narrow down the list because I don't want to talk about a ton of books. So these are the books that I think sound extremely interesting and that I can't wait to get my hands on. Let's start off with July. There are only 3 books on this list and they're actually all out at the making of this video. They all came out on July 15th. And first up we have One Yellow Eye by Lee Radford. This is a horror science fiction and it's actually something that I haven't read at all, I don't think. And it's about a zombie type apocalypse and the main character is a scientist. And she's trying to figure out a solution for this outbreak that's turning people into zombies. But she has a secret, and her secret is that her husband is a zombie too. That just sounds super interesting and fun to me, even though it's a horror. I'm sure it's going to be horrific, but honestly, it's right up my alley, and I'm excited to get my hands on this. And another thing, I think the cover of this book looks amazing. I don't know who designed this, but it looks so good. Then next up, we have Matchmaking for Psychopaths by Tasha Coriel. And this one also sounds kind of fun. It's like a thriller, but basically our main character, Alexandra, is a matchmaker, but for psychopaths. So she puts together people that have psychopathy. I don't know how well this is going to be done in terms of mental health. So put a pin in that because I actually don't know. But it sounds like our main character thinks she has the perfect life and she's helping people. And then one day her boyfriend or husband and her best friend decide to tell her on her birthday that they're together. And she meets a client and I guess she tells the client this whole story and then her husband or boyfriend shows up dead. So that sounds like a lot of fun. And I love the cover of this too. It looks kind of creepy, like with the old school toys. But yeah, it's a thriller and I also want to get my hands on this one. But this one sounds like something that I'm not sure I want to own, so I might get it at the library. And then one that I'm definitely going to buy, I think, because I read the first one and I absolutely loved it, and that is The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. This is Spell Shop book number 2, and I absolutely loved book number 1. But our main character's name is Terlu, and I think she's the one that accidentally made the spider plant magic from the first book, and I think that's kind of fun. But she was turned into a wooden statue as punishment for her magic use. She ends up on a island with a grumpy man, and I think it's a romance type fantasy, and I'm here for it. These books, I mean, at least the first book, is very lovely and just something to pick up your spirits. So I'm definitely going to pick this one up because I know I'm probably going to enjoy it. And I'll read it when I need a little pick-me-up. And then next up, we have the month of August. And I'm going to attempt to do this in order of release date, but I kind of suck at these things. But these next 2 books I'm going to talk about come out on August 5th. The first one is The Hounding by Zenobi Purvis. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And I adore this cover. That's another thing that about these new releases. I feel like they all kind of have like really killer covers. And kudos to the designers of these covers because I absolutely loved it. And this one sounds like this is a horror, but also historical fiction because it's set in 18th century England. And it's set around these 5 sisters that are kind of shunned by their neighboring society. And the neighbors think that they're turning into dogs. And the tagline says that this is the Crucible meets the Virgin Suicides. And I have read The Crucible. I have never read The Virgin Suicides, but it sounds like it's these 5 young women that are probably being labeled as witches and being shunned for being different. And I'm here for it because it's horror, so I'm sure some weird stuff is going to happen. But I love the cover. And then next up, another cool cover is The Dead Husband's Cookbook. And that is by Danielle Valentine, also coming out on August 5th. And this is a thriller. And our main character's name is Maria, and it sounds like she's a renowned chef and a household name. She has cookbooks, she has TV shows. But her husband, who was also a chef, had disappeared about 20 years before. And this book sort of reminded me of the premise of the seven husbands of Evelyn Hugo, because I guess she is now deciding to break her silence to talk about the husband, which she hasn't done. in the past 20 years. So I'm all for it. Like, did she off him or not? What happened? You know, I think she did off him, but I don't know. I guess I will have to read the book when it comes out because it's coming out on August 5th. So very soon. I'm filming this video on the 27th of July. So I'm excited for this one. Also a killer cover. Okay, and the next up on August, when is this? August 12th. We have Too Old for This by Samantha Downing. I have read Samantha Downing's books before. I think one of them that I didn't love, and it was about a couple, and they were both serial killers or something. I can't think of the name. But this one sounds like fun. For some reason, I love like older people doing things that you don't associate with an older person, which is like sort of an oxymoron because people can do whatever they want, giving, you know what I mean, like at any point in their lives. But this main character is a retired serial killer, and it says her life has upended because she gets an unexpected visitor. So I wonder if I think she's being coerced to carry out another murder to keep her secret. So this sounds like fun, and it's another thriller, and I'm dying to get into it. Well, I'm making a lot of references of like, it's not on purpose, I swear. Next up, we have We Are All Guilty Here by Karen Slaughter. Karen Slaughter is one of my favorite mystery thriller authors. I love her book, Pretty Girls, and The Good Daughter, and there's another one that I read I can't think of, but that all to say, I think everything I've read from this author I enjoy. And this is her first book in a new series. And if you know, she has the Will Trent series that has a ton of books. I don't actually know how many books. Let me look it up. 12 books. And I just don't want to like start a 12-book series. But I figured this one is coming out now, and I can start from the get-go and hopefully enjoy this new book of hers. And it sounds like on par with her series, 2 women go missing in a small town, 2 girls, I think. 2 teenage girls vanish in a small town where everyone knows everyone. And one of our main characters, or the main character, is an officer, and her name is Emmy Clifton, and it's personal. And her like blurbs don't really have a lot of information, which I quite enjoy with the thriller. Much like with Pretty Girls, like you don't get much on the description of the book, but they turn into such a twist, and it's good to go into a thriller, for me at least, without knowing much. So even though this little blurb doesn't really like scream anything exciting for me, I know that this author will deliver. So I'm excited about this one. It's August 12th. Again, I don't know if I said that. Next up, we have August 26th, and the first one is Catabases or Catabases, I don't know, by R.F. Kuang. And I'm excited to read this one because it is a fantasy book, dark academia, about two students' descent into hell. And I think they're doing this to save someone? Yeah, I think it's one of her professors. I don't know much about this, and I am going to go into this kind of blind, but this sounds like fun. And coupled with R.F. Kuang's amazing way of writing things, I think this is going to be kind of a knockout. Honestly, I don't know, but I guess we shall see when it comes out. And then the next one, also expected to come out on August 26th, is How Bad Things Can Get by Darcy Coates. And Darcy Coates is a horror author, which I haven't read anything by her, but this sounds like a good time. And this kind of revolves around an influencer and a bunch of his friends that decide to go into this paradise island for 5 days. And something happened in the island, and they're all caught there by themselves. And that sounds like so much fun, and I'm excited to read this. But yeah, this sounds like right up my alley, and I'm kind of excited to read this one. And potentially, if I love this one, I'll read more of her books. All right, and then next up we have September, which I have 3 books to talk to you guys about. Okay, the first one is coming out on September 1st, and this is the only romance of the bunch. And that is If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. I won't lie, the cover is a big part of why I even looked at this book when I looked at the list of books coming out, but it does sound like something I will enjoy. And this is a small town romance. And another reason, it's because it's set in Vermont. And I just love Vermont. And this cover like really encompasses what New England fall weather looks like. And I just love it. But basically, our main character is kind of down on her luck. And her neighbor is like the golden boy of this town. And he's a single dad extraordinaire. And she doesn't have anything figured out. And obviously a romance blooms in Vermont, and I just want to read it. and this sounds like it would be a good palate cleanser for all the thriller/horror books. And then the next two books coming out on September 9th. First up, we have Blood Moon by Brittany S. Lewis, and this is a fantasy romance. And this is a werewolf romance. And much like The Wolf King, which I talked about on my most recent video, I'll link it in the cards. I, for some reason, am kind of into like the werewolf romance type thing recently. And so this is very much in the same vein, but look at this cover. Like, amazing cover. But our main character lives in Timber Plains, Kansas, and there's been like local legends about werewolves, and I'm guessing she will meet a werewolf at some point. Anyway, I'm down for the ride, September 9th. And then the last book on this list, I couldn't finish this video without having another horror, and that is Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. Rachel Harrison is one of my favorite horror authors recently. Like, I've read a ton of her books that have recently come out, and much like her recent releases, I think I will enjoy this one. I love the cover. The pink and the purple are just chef's kiss. And it sounds like this woman inherits a haunted, possessed house. I just kind of like that. And I love Rachel Harrison's horror books because she always has something to say. It's not just about the horror aspects of her books. Even her werewolf book talks a lot about women's agency and things like that. I don't know. I just love her writing, and I think she does horror very well and also has something to say in each and all of her books. And I think that's amazing, and that's the amazing thing about horror books. Anyway, I will leave you with this because there's already too many books coming out, but these are the ones that I kind of have my eye on to read in the upcoming months, and I hope that I can at least help you find one book that you guys are excited about. Let me know if there's anything that you guys are anticipating that I did not include on this list, because I always want to add more. Of course, like, why wouldn't I? More books, more problems, right? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.